All right, what's good, boys? Welcome to today's trade recap. Today is 11/18/2025. I ended up making just over $22,000 today. Here is my all the shit on Top Step or on TradingView, and then I de-risked on Top Step, and I made about $550 per account on my 5x phase. So pretty good day today. I wasn't looking to take a trade later on in the session, and I'll go over why in a second. But here's my trade. Here's the idea. Let's get into the very beginning of the day. So coming into this morning, we had, one second. We essentially had a box drawn around us with London. So what I wanted to see is if one side gets taken out, I will then look for a rejection and target the other side. Okay, that's just how I play it, especially like, okay, here's our box, right? We have London highs, London lows. We're just inside this box, just chopping around. Typically, that's how I like to play things. So at market open, we initially shit the bed, okay, but we never created an SMT with these lows. Now, these were 5-minute and 15-minute intermediate lows. So if we created an SMT with those, I had no problem longing this towards all this LR up here. And this was my original target for today. I wanted to see price manipulate lower, even though we are bearish on the higher time frames. This draw just looks so good because we had all this low resistance liquidity. We had this London high that was yet to get swept out. We had this 15-minute high, and if we wanted to continue running, we even had Asia highs as well. So we had a clear draw higher, and then at market open, you can see we had a generation of liquidity right here as well. So I wanted to see some sort of manipulation lower, possibly sleeping out London lows, or if we just wanted to sweep out these 5 and 15-minute intermediate lows and create an SMT off that, we could have. But as you guys can see, we did not create an SMT, so I did not enter. I stayed really patient today. So I was like, okay, here we can do one of two things. Since we are bearish overall on the higher time frames, I can wait for all this LR to get swept, possible SMT off these London highs, and then look for shorts down towards this low, and London lows ultimately. Okay, so let's just play this real quick on the 5-minute time frame on NASDAQ. Let's go to NASDAQ. We also came up, created these relatively highs, so I wanted to see this get swept out first. Actually, before we play it, I think, here, let's play it on the 1 minute. We ended up getting a 1-minute IFVG right here, and the reason I faded this was because I did not want, first of all, my stop loss was just massive if I left it at the swing high. Okay, I did not want that. And second of all, I did not want these relatively equal highs at my stop loss. And again, we did not have an SMT on ES. ES came up and swept out most of this too, along with NASDAQ. So I at least wanted to see an SMT at a significant time frame. And we also left these relatively equal highs. So I was like, okay, I've seen price inverse this like gap before and then completely reverse, get a resweep, and then we go. So at this point in time, I told Discord, like, okay, you guys could possibly take these shorts down towards like these 930 lows, down towards like these relatively equal lows, whatever. But what I'm personally looking for is a resweep. And then if we can sweep out London highs, that's great. Or maybe we can get a SMT with ES sweeping out London highs, one or the other. I really wanted an SMT today because I came into the morning just looking at chop. So it was either that, and that was how I was going to do a PDI or mech, or I was going to wait just for a continuation. So let's see how this plays out. We got edged of our stop loss, and then we ended up running straight towards TP. All the TPs ended up getting hit. We ended up hitting London lows. So I was like, cool, from here, maybe we get an SMT, but we come over on ES. ES was trending lower. ES was trending lower, and we ended up taking it out. So no SMT there. So at this point in time, I'm like, all right, what is lower? Like, what could price possibly be going to? Well, we had these lows right here, which on the 4-hour, they're just like 4-hour lows. And then we had this weird ass wick right here that I've been wanting to target for the past like 3 weeks. So we had this crazy wick right here. Like, look at this. This shit is just super awkward. So I was like, okay, this can potentially be a draw on liquidity. This was like previous daily lows from like a week ago, something like that. Those are just daily lows that I could have targeted. So I was like, all right, what confluences am I going to use in order for me to build a conviction? So we ended up having a 1 hour for value gap right here. Here it is. Okay, drag it over. The 1 hour at, here it is right here, just so you guys get a better representation. The 1 hour at the 9 o'clock candle ended up inversing that gap. So I was like, okay, I'm flipping my bias bearish today. I'm no longer looking for longs towards all this up here because of how bearish we are. So we ended up creating, what the fuck did I just do? Okay, I don't know what the hell just happened, but we ended up coming down and edging this daily low that I was just talked about. Here we go, right? That daily low from like a week ago, week and a half ago, whatever. So we ended up edging it, making relatively low. So I was like, perfect. Let's look for a continuation model now. We ended up tapping into this 5 minute right about here. And I didn't take this because I took a trade the other week and it had this exact same draw. We left like relatively equal lows at the significant draw for the day. We came up and tapped the most premium 5 minute, right? And I ended up taking it because I liked the rejection off of it. So look, we come up and hit this 5 minute right here. We come up, hit this 5 minute, and we actually have a 2 minute. So not only did we inverse both of these 1 minutes, but we actually had a 2 minute for value gap as well. And the reason I failed this was because I lost on a setup like this just a couple days ago. It was like last week. Learn from your losses. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, it looks good in hindsight, right? We tap a 15 minute, or we tap a 5 minute. We get the 2 minute IFVG. Okay, everything looks good. And then what ends up happening? We end up edging our break-even point or even our take profit, and then what ends up getting created, a unfilled 15-minute gap gets created. So that is why I also faded this as well. Not only did I lose last week on a setup like this, I knew the 15-minute was coming in about like 6 or 7 minutes, about 6 or 7 minutes or so. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait for that to get hit. We also had another unfilled 5-minute right above it, right here, and then we had equilibrium. Equilibrium never ended up getting touched, but after we came and hit this 15-minute, I was like, all right, we can either look for a 1 minute version right here and use this unfilled 3 minute down here as my break-even point, or we can just wait for the 3 minute to get inversed. Well, the 3 minute ended up getting inversed at the same time as this 5 minute gap got inversed. And you might be asking, well, why didn't you just take this 5 minute inversion? And the reason is because I asked myself, would I be mad if I lose this trade? And the answer was yes, because I knew I would be breaking my rules, specifically for the fact that we have a whole bunch of low resistance liquidity at my stop loss, and I knew I'd be breaking my rules. So I was like, okay, cool. If this plays out, it plays out. This was what the original trade idea would have looked like. I was like, if this plays out, it would have played out. Okay, it is what it is. I didn't want to trade today anyway, because obviously my draw was right here, and I'm sure that was the objective for the day. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But we ended up getting a retracement because a 5 minute bearish for value gap opened up. So I was like, okay, not only did we just reject this 15 minute and this 5 minute, and we also got a 5 minute inversion, but if we can come up and hit this 5 minute for value gap and then see rejection out of it, I'll go ahead and take that because these highs should be protected. So there should be no reason why price wants to come back up here. Okay, so this LR should no longer be relevant to my trade idea. Okay, so we ended up doing that, and I was looking for a 1 minute coming out of here. We ended up getting a 30-second. I can't show you guys. I'm gonna show you guys the 30-second on my top step. Give me 1 second. We ended up getting a 30-second right here. I went ahead and entered off the 30-second. My stops were at the swing highs, and my take profit was obviously down towards those lows down here. It looks something like this. And yeah, we ended up getting chopped around hella, but here's a 30-second. I got a better fill on my top step. I got filled like up here, but let's go back over here. My initial break-even point was going to be this low right here, and then look what price ended up doing. It was kind of playing with us a little bit, right? It edged our like this low, and then we came back up. So I was like, okay, next time we come back down, if we do come back down, these two lows are going to be my break-even point. So at this point in time, I went break even at 11 o'clock because ES took out those lows at 11 o'clock. So I went break even when ES took out that like internal low, and then we ended up just getting our TP smashed the very next minute. And then look at us now. We are ended up reversing. So W close on the day. And yeah, that was basically all for today. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I read every single comment. Code LoeGpa on Lucid Trades. 45% off, $75 all in for a 50K account. It's like the cheapest in the game right now. And the free Discord is in the description. Go check that out. Catch y'all boys tomorrow.